So the audience here will be mostly in the social media or in the Zoom?
No. So actually the thing is, on the Zoom call itself, we don't get too much participation. But what we do is, the main thing that we do is we break the videos into smaller clips. And then we post it via social media. And then we put the link to the entire program on the social YouTube. So that gets a lot of traction. And that is then that is recurring, because every 3 months, 2 months, again, they will put one reminder about the program in the past. And they will put the link. So that is doing well.
Correct.
So we are live. Sorry to interrupt. We are live.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
So we are live, but we can continue chatting. That's okay.
No, I'm just saying that we're also doing the Facebook Live of this right now.
Yes.
The link that's been given, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's fine. So that's good, because I have actually shared with some groups and they would be on the Facebook Live. So that's the reason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
So he will play an anthem that we have, and just 1 minute before the program starts.
Sure.
And all the past people who have been on our show, they will be just screened, and then we will start. So we normally start exactly on time. Jarvis, go ahead.
CoLaBoRate. 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 Let's learn the way we'll do it. Let's learn to collaborate. Let's be the change and make the change. Liberate people, companies, employment your way. Let's collaborate. Let's collaborate. Let's collaborate. Let's collaborate. He's a leader, big, bright, and fast. They support in every daunting task. They pitch and scout and warning and hunting. They look out for the next in line. Love running my company and building up my brand. Fix always getting squares. Then focus on the task at hand. So now my jungle's open to the rules among you. Opportunities to gain. Let's learn, grow, hunt, and blaze. I can work for dawn and dust easily. But I do my work so professionally. I want work, but I want it my way. I'm a liberated associate on the techno highway. Let's learn the way we'll do it. Let's learn to collaborate. Let's be the change and make the change. Liberate people, companies, employment your way. Let's collaborate. 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 Let's collaborate.
Good evening. So welcome to another episode of the CoLaBoRate Talk Show. And with me is Dr. Bose, who I will introduce shortly. Just to remind you, the CoLaBoRate Talk Show is basically to put out the idea of how fun and engaging and the freedom that the gig economy offers you, right? So we've been exploring the gig economy for some time now with the CoLaBoRate app being launched somewhere in November. December was the actual launch. And we've had some traction, and it's been a great journey so far. Especially for me, the journey has been great because I've started hosting this CoLaBoRate Talk Show in which I get to meet eminent personalities, interview them, learn from them, and share that knowledge with all of you. So today we've got Dr. Suborno Bose, and he's a brilliant chartered accountant with over 30 years of entrepreneurial experience in India and abroad, founder and chief mentor of the IndSmart Group. Dr. Suborno Bose launched management schools called Institute of Advanced Management in 1989. He founded International Institute of Hotel Management, IIHM, in 94, which is today regarded as one of the key leaders in the field of international hospitality management education in India. Dr. Suborno Bose believes that the best way to learn is through applying theory to practice. And to facilitate this, he has a strategy of opening hotels to work in conjunction with his hotel management schools. He is in the country's best-known hospitality educator with the presence of his institutes in major brands like IIHM and IAM hotel schools, which are at Kolkata, Delhi, Goa, Bangkok, Bangalore, Guwahati, Ahmedabad, Jaipur, Hyderabad, and Pune. The IndSmart Group also owns 2 luxury hotels. The IndSmart Group, under the leadership of Dr. Suborno Bose, has ventured into an ambitious project with the National Skills Development Corporation by the Government of India, with the object of providing vocational training and a vision of training 180,000 students in the next 10 years. Dr. Bose has been conferred the Honorary Doctorate of Business Administration by Edinburgh Napier University, UK, and the Honorary Award of Doctorate of Science by the University of West London, UK, at London. Dr. Bose has also been the recipient of the Asia Pacific's most prestigious award, the Outstanding Entrepreneurship Award. He is currently the chairman of Education Committee of the BCCI. He has also served as a member of Education, Tourism, Hospitality Committees of various Chamber of Commerce and Industry, including CII, FHRAI, HRAE, ICC, as well as other government authorities in telecom and railways in India. Regularly invited to speak at prestigious seminars and conferences, and has been facilitated with the Lifetime Achievement Award by Welcome Skills UK, as well as a host of other prestigious awards and accolades. It's the same thrill that he gets perhaps from flying his 2-seater microlight flight at Bangalore. His philosophy to dare to do has definitely served as an excellent guide as well as a compelling and powerful role model to young students and future entrepreneurs. Dr. Bose has pioneered the Young Chef Olympiad in 2015, and in 2019 had over 55 countries participating in what has been billed as the world's biggest young chef competition in the history. Dr. Bose has also pioneered the IIHM Young Chef India Schools, a culinary competition organized by the International Institute of Hotel Management, Kolkata, ever since 2011. With the support from the Ministry of Tourism, Government of India, it aims at spotting budding talent at the high school level. Dr. Bose is the CEO and convener of the prestigious International Hospitality Council, London, as well as the managing trustee of the International Hospitality Council, Delhi. Dr. Bose has been instrumental in creating International Hospitality Day, which is celebrated every year on 24th April to celebrate, promote, and educate hospitality. On the glorious occasion of International Hospitality Day, Dr. Bose has been recently conferred the Hall of Fame Award to Mr. Ratan Tata, Chairman of the Tata Groups, for his immense contribution to the field of hospitality. Dr. Bose, welcome, and it's indeed a great privilege and honor to have you on our show.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Always a pleasure to be in the CoLaBoRate and be with the people who have been creating this excellent platform called CoLaBoRate. Very happy to be here.
Sir. Thank you, sir. Sir, just to start off, because throughout your profile there is entrepreneurship, enterprising. So when did you start your business? As in, at what age were you when you started your business? And one thing that I'm really curious to know is, why did you decide to get into business?
Yes. Yeah, I don't know where to start. So let's start like this. So basically, I did my college with St. Xavier's College, Calcutta. And of course, we did CA together. And during those days, you can do the CA and college together. And I think I became CA pretty young. I think I was 22 half or so when I became a CA. And I actually wanted to work for myself, work to do something for myself or business. I never really wanted to work as a chartered accountant in a company, although my friends all got a job. I just was looking to do something in practice. So which I did. So it all started with a small CA practice, which actually was in a way a very big flop, because I could never I could never really become a successful CA practitioner, because at 22 and a half and 23, especially on those days, especially in a place like Kolkata, nobody gives you a job to do. And even if they gives you a job, they pay you nothing. And then you spend half the day sitting outside the ICOR Bhavan, the income tax department, to meet an ITO who at 5 p.m. says, I don't have time today. So it's something I thought it's not something I can really carry on for a long time. Started teaching. Teaching has always been a little bit of a passion. I love teaching. So I started teaching the CA students of the final, CA students of the intermediate, company secretary in my own home. And then I started teaching them a little more organized way. And in between, I did a lot of small bits and pieces things. But then it is really the teaching that got me into this profession. And in 1989, on the April Fool's Day, 1st April, I started the Institute of Advanced Management. So
you are a first generation. You are a first generation entrepreneur.
Yes, absolutely.
So you've not taken over your dad's business, mom's business.
No. In fact, I was a little bit of a rebel at home, because everyone for the last 20 generation worked. And, so when I wanted to do something, the family was not happy, and for good reason. And they said that you have done reasonably well in your life. You have passed CA when you are pretty young, when people takes 10 years to pass at that time, and saying, and what you are doing nothing. You are teaching some guys some private tuitions at that time. So when I started IAM, it gave me a little more credibility. It gives me an organization, a platform. And I think that's the start point. And that's why I started hospitality management.
Okay. So what made you started teaching, and then you decided to start the institute, or you always had a plan to start the institute and then you started teaching at the CA?
Yes, you're right. So when I started teaching, basically, as I said, I used to do a lot of work, lot of bits and pieces. One of the things which I did, I started Calcutta's first teachers bureau. And at that time, there was a huge case. In Bengal, the education is taken very seriously. I'm not saying it's not seriously in other parts of the country, but Bengal is very kind of, the parents are very nagging that you get the best private tuition and you get the best guys to come and teach you at home, the home tuition. So I thought, I saw one of these paper ads in Times of India, Mumbai, which I picked up in one of the Sunday. Used to be, remember that Sunday Times, that fat Sunday time of 40 pages, remember, good old days. And I used to take that every Sunday. I used to buy that actually. And I saw something like a teacher's bureau in Mumbai. So I cheated the idea, if you like. I took the idea and introduced the first ever teacher's bureau in Calcutta. And it was very successful. It was very successful.
So you're saying it was successful, but I'm sure at the start, there would have been some hiccup. So how was the start, if you can remember the start?
Everything was a hiccup. I mean, every small step was a hiccup. I mean, right from, we gave an advertisement, but we didn't give money to pay the advertising agency. So for a couple of days, actually, I was hiding in my friend's house, because this agency was after me. So we took our building and our first check bounced. Of course, we paid the second check. Fortunately, at that time, there was the rules were a little more, softer. But yeah, there were hiccups there. But you know what happened? There was a lot of passion and there was a lot of determination to do it. So when I started the hotel management program, it was also a little bit by default. I mean, I got a call from a lady from Surrey near London. They want to open one institute or a collaboration in India. So the couple of mails I ignored, but then ultimately I took seriously, and
so
that
they
was the
approached
start.
you.
They approached me. They approached
How did
me.
they hear about you?
Never know. I don't know.
Okay.
30
And
years
so
from now, I never know, because I never had the courage to ask the lady. Maybe then she will say, well, you are the wrong person, possibly. So I never ask her.
Okay. And so when you started this institute, it was in collaboration with this UK institute in Surrey?
Yes. It was in collaboration. It was called Confederation of Tourism, Hotel and Catering Management, CTHCM. And it was, of course, not a very big, but it was a very, very solid institution. So I went to the
one
British
second.
Council.
Can you define what is not very big? What do you mean by
not big in terms of, it was not like a university. It was not like a big university. It was a college. So it was not.
How big? How many square feet? Just to get an idea.
No, I mean my office or their institute in
The
London.
institute. Oh, their institute in London. No, what about the one in Kolkata?
Mine was only two room in a place in South Calcutta. When I started, only 2 rooms, 2 classrooms. That's it. 2 rooms and one my office, one small office.
Impressive.
But the best thing happened. I think the best thing happened. The sparkle in the eyes, Dominic, when I went to the British Council and I asked there is a college like this. They want to work with me. I wanted to check whether they are genuine or authentic or they're, because I have no idea. So they said, okay, no problem. You go to that last corner and somebody is going to bring you a book. And believe me, they bought a book maybe 2 times or 3 times of our dictionary, this fact. And I have to find out, but Lee and behold, I found a name and the address and the telephone number, which means it is a genuine institution under the British government. And that brought a lot of relief to me that this is a genuine and a good institution. The ranking was pretty good. It was 3-star. And so there we go. We started like that. We got 13 students, and then I shifted myself to Salt Lake area of Calcutta, and we got into around 50 students. And then in 1994, I started IIHM, first institute to get an AICTE approval, and the rest is history.
Yeah, but I'm more interested in how that history was created, because you really have created history with IIHM. I'm particularly interested in the hospitality segment. So the IIHM that you first started off, so you already had the backing of a management institute before that. So I'm guessing it would have been easier. Or was it easier?
Yes.
Was it more difficult? How was it?
No, when I started IAM, that was a management institute, which still exists. It still has a hospitality institute, and it was having courses in management, public relation, marketing, business communication, and of course, we are also doing a lot of tuitions for the CS student, just like you get these days, Akash and other. At that time, we were possibly the only institution who was doing and coaching classes for the CS student. But once I got this opportunity to do the hospitality, I shifted my base from that 2 room to a 3-story building in Salt Lake. At that time, Salt Lake was just up and coming, about 28 years back, about 30 years back, actually. And we got a house, nice house, which I still own. And it was a very reasonably, the rental was quite reasonable. And we shifted our hospitality business there. And that actually was the turning point of my career in hospitality education.
Okay. So now coming to the theme of this program, entrepreneurship now, later, or never.
Yes.
So
yes.
if let's say some kids come up, you ever tell them that they must get into entrepreneurship? Or you say, no, some of you are made for it, some of you are not made for it. How do you judge if a person is made for it? What is the one skill? So just, want to pick your brains on that one.
Yeah, I think I tell all the students that you should have some degree of entrepreneurship. I mean, even if you are working for somebody, you need that entrepreneurial skill or that entrepreneurial zeal. I mean, it's not that you have to always work for yourself, but I think entrepreneurship is something which is hugely passion driven, because skills can be soft skill, can be hard skill, but I think in between you have got the emotional skills, in between the hard skill and the soft skill. We differentiate. So this EQ, I think, is the DNA of entrepreneurship, because if somebody have that passion, that fire in the belly, that hunger, that I'm going to make it big, and confidence that yes, I will be successful, I think that is the biggest skill you need to be an entrepreneur. Your product, your pricing, your competitors all come after that. And of course, you need to be very, very patient and very persuasive. So I think, and of course, you need to have a thick skin as well, because a lot of people will, yes, a lot of people will deceive you. A lot of people will tell you you are wasting your time and everybody else's time. Rather, you come and join. There's a job there around the corner of the road, and you need to really ignore all that negative vibes, and you need to be absolutely vara blanca and say, this is what I want to do. I'm passionate about it. I believe I can do that. It may take me some more time. I have not yet passed that test, but I will. And I think that is the most important skill that any youngster should have to become an entrepreneur.
Okay, so what you are saying is passion. Now, let me ask you a question. I mean, even though I'm an entrepreneur, I want to ask this question. Logic, passion, which one weighs in more?
Passion.
That means, the plan.
Passion. Logic, you can change. If your passion is strong, you can change a logic. Human beings are capable of changing the logic, and today we have got a word for it called disruption. So there are classical business when we were young, and when we grew up, we found that, oh, this is something we never thought. Somebody asked me about 10 years back, why are these startups making losses? Still they are getting investment. I said, no, they're not making losses. Either you make money in your P&L account, or you make money in your stock market account. Valuation, exactly. It's the matter of making money, whether it's in the profit and loss statement, which is much less, or is much more. So it's a way that disruption can happen. It can defy the logic. It can make a logic illogical, and you can actually create your own logic if you have got a belief and the passion.
So belief and passion is first, then comes logic. What about skill set? Let's say there is I'm starting off a business. Do I have to be a master in that business, or will passion carry me through that also?
Well, I don't think that you need to be really a master of it. Of course, you need to have some knowledge about what business you are doing. If you are trying to do a business in IT or a tech, possibly a background in tech is always a great idea. But history have told us there are more examples of the opposite, where people without a skill set have done better than the people with a skill set. So we have seen so many people, even if I have to give an example from our own country, Ritesh Agarwal, who started the Oyo Room at the age when he was 20 or something. He's not from hospitality. He has no formal training, no informal training also. He used to stay in a Gurgaon as a paying guest, and he just started from there. Same for the Airbnb. I think if you see all these examples, the people even from tech, even if you see Steve Jobs, of course, Steve Jobs went to the college, dropped out. He had some background, but never the kind of background that Apple is made of. So there are examples where you need, I will still say that knowledge is required, little knowledge about a business if you're doing, but it's not have to be, you have to be a master in what you are doing.
Okay, so taking from there, would you say that, like you gave the example of Ritesh Agarwal, would you say that if we have too much knowledge about a product, it may become a deterrent?
Absolutely. Then you should go and work for a big company, multinational, and earn money in dollars.
Okay, so it just struck me, you also are not from hospitality background, but
No.
have pioneered the IIHM, and doing brilliantly with it. Okay, so now coming to one other this, because when I read about you, you fly your plane from in Bangalore, right?
But that's a hobby.
As a hobby. Yeah, obviously not as a commercial, but that means there is a risk-taking streak in you, right? How important is risk-taking to an entrepreneur?
Yes, I think it's very important, because see when you are doing something of your own, it is like series. You cannot do, and that's, I think, is a difference. A lot of people ask me, what's the difference between doing a business, or rather, being a businessman and being an entrepreneur? Possibly a businessman, in the classical sense of the term, is running a business for ages, maybe inherited, and maybe a little bit of diversity here and there. But an entrepreneur experiments every day, and he fails every day. It's not that he has to succeed every day. Maybe out of 10, he fails in 8, but he succeeds in 2. So today, I'm also coming to a tech play school business, which is very tech driven, which we'll be launching in 1 month time. We are already in advanced stage of a counseling test called ECPT, where we have developed an algorithm with IBM, where a student of class 10 or class 11 can take a test and find out that which career will suit him best. Based on a 3A principle, I worked with IBM and learned a lot actually about the career counseling. Because what's the problem, Dominic, in India? Everyone wants to be an engineer. Everyone wants to go to IIT. Everyone wants to be a doctor. And we have got about 2,800 professions where people don't really look at. But these are the professions where our youngsters should go. But nobody tells them to go. And this particular test, which we have introduced, a lot of government have also took my test actually in bulk, actually tells you that what should be the best career for you. So
this is a psychometric test?
No, it's a 3 aspiration. It's psychometry is a small part of it. Is based on an algorithm which tests your ability that which career would really be best for you. It's very career driven kind of an test. Psychometry is about 20% of the test. Rest 80% will be on aspiration, on aptitude, like that.
Okay. Well, just curious, did you yourself do the test? And
well, yes, I did the test, and honestly, the test result came quite close. In fact, I'll tell you, when we were doing the alpha testing 1 year back, and my son was at that time just in the class 12, and he took the test, and the first time he said everything came wrong. I said no problems. After 7 days, he took the test again. We are doing tests about 100 and 200 people all over the country, the alpha testing. And then he said, I said, what about your test result? He said, again wrong. I said, why? He said, no, something came called actuarial. Never heard of it. I said, son, that is called actuarial science. He said, yeah, something like that. I said, this is one of the best profession in the world. You would be getting millions of dollars if you are an actuary, right? And then he said the second one was okay, economics, and third one was mathematics. You won't believe right now he's studying with economics, mathematics, statistics in St. Xavier's College.
Because actually it is becoming a very big science.
Yes,
I mean, its value is...
So what I'm trying to say, Dominic, is that lot of careers, even the parents don't know. Even the students don't know. They only know that 10 or 20, and they go around that BBA, this BCA. They don't know actuarial science. So this test gives them also an idea about certain career which even the student have not heard of.
They may have not heard of.
Yes, exactly.
Very good. Okay, coming back to entrepreneurship, and how important is finance? So before you answer that, I just want to tell the audience, before you answer that, just the audience, we'll be opening it out to Q&A. You can either put your question in the chat box, or when the time comes, you could raise your hand and my colleague Jervis will unmute you and you could ask a question directly to Dr. Suborno Bose. Go ahead, sir. How important is finance?
Well, finance is definitely important, but I will never say it is not important. But I don't think that is coming in the first 2 or 3 of the most important thing. I always feel if you have got a great idea, and if you have got something that you believe that can happen, money will come. Money will not come in our hordes, but money will follow you. You see even if you see the startup that's happening, I'm not talking about big startups like Ritesh and Oyo Room, they have been flushed with money. I'm saying even the small startups. I've seen one of the success story in Calcutta, one of my very close friend, Sagar, he opened Wow Momo. Wow Momo started in Calcutta, very close to my campus in Sector 5 in Salt Lake, and with a small kiosk, and it was not successful. Then they tried again. He was just out of college. And then, but he had the belief, he had the confidence, he had the belief that the Calcutta guys will eat momos. And today, Wow Momo is sitting on something now 700 crore million, 700 crores. Yeah, but it started very, very small. And in fact, I'm very, very fortunate that I've seen his growth in my own eyes. But then first 2-3 years, Sagar was absolutely, running from pillar to post, but he never lost sight of the focus. He never lost the focus that I need to be. Very important, very important. So I think that finance is important, but it's not so important that it should kill a dream of an entrepreneur. If somebody have great idea, they can come to people like us. I have got a fund called Sahas Fund, which is an entrepreneurial fund for hospitality, and more than happy to listen to great ideas.
So this Sahas Fund is for anybody in hospitality with a great idea?
Well, it has started with the students of IHM, but I think we are taking it to anybody in hospitality now.
Oh, interesting. Very nice. Okay, so I've got a hand up from Hitesh Chawla. Jervis, would you unmute him and we'll get his question in? Yeah, Hitesh, you can unmute your. Yeah, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Hitesh. I'm good, thank you.
Good. Sir, I have a question. I am an entrepreneur by mistake, not by choice.
Like me?
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to become a chef, but mistakenly I've become an entrepreneur in the hospitality industry. So do you believe spirituality plays a lot of important role when you want to choose a path or for your career or anything, like a journey or a path or whichever path you want to choose for your career? Do you think spirituality plays an important role?
Well, that's a difficult one. Since you are a chef and F&B, well, if somebody else would have asked spirituality, I would have spoken about whiskey. But then, because that's how we make money as in food and beverage, by selling spirits. But then to come to your question, Hitesh, I think definitely it has got something to do by whatever name called. Maybe what you are telling about the word spirituality is somebody else calling it belief. Somebody else calling it my own, my heart is saying something. So I'm sure that people have a name for it, right? So I'm sure that your belief that spirituality have a role possibly is right, because you believe in spirituality. And I think there is some kind of power, some kind of a force, some kind of an inner drive that drives the entrepreneurship, and you name it. So if you feel that spirituality is important, I will say yes to it.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Hitesh. And I think Karishma had a question. Jervis, could you check? There was a raised hand there. In the meanwhile, while you're checking on Karishma, I will mention that. So there's a question in the chat box. Mr. Bose, you are just amazing. Your entrepreneurial journey is incredible. Now, the question is a bit surprising. How can I replicate your success?
Read my book, Art of Hospitality.
Sorry, your book?
Read my book. Read my book, The Art of Hospitality.
Art of Hospitality.
Yes.
Okay, so Jarvis, if you can locate the person, we'll gift this person a book on Art of Hospitality.
I can gift
from
her.
CoLaBoRate. No,
I can
CoLaBoRate
also
will
gift
do it.
her. More than happy.
Because it's coming as an anonymous question, and we've got Karishma Kumari, who seems to be a student. Karishma, go ahead, unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello, Karishma.
Okay, either there's a problem with the audio there, or so I'll go on to the next question while we look that up.
Yeah, sure.
How important is a stable family life for professional success?
I think very, very important. I think because when you are working as an entrepreneur, your time is not defined by a particular watch. In fact, a long time back, somebody told me, one of my mentor, that when you come to a hotel, you wear a watch because you need to enter by 7 in the morning, and then you keep it in a locker because you don't know when you're going back. So I think the entrepreneur's life is like that. I do remember hundreds and hundreds of meetings which I did in the midnight. It went in a wee hour in the morning, and those were successful meetings. Most of them, actually, not all, but so family life stability, I think, is one of the very, very important factor. And if you see the successful heroes of the in our industry, of our country, most of them had got a very, very strong family values. And I think it is very important, to answer your question, Dominic, in one word, it's very important to have a stable family life.
Okay, this question is with the help of the gig concept. Is it advisable for students to adapt and start working with the help of the gig concept?
Yes, I think it's a great concept. This concept is already there in the some of the countries in the West I've seen. Of course, it's as a culture. The people of many European countries, they start working when they're 18 and they start studying as well. I think this culture should also come to our country, and I think the gig concept, as you guys are doing, is excellent. In fact, we are having in most of our campuses seminars and workshop by CoLaBoRate, where we are encouraging our students to work as they are studying, because that gives them, of course, a great experience, hands-on, that exposes them to the real world of hospitality and real world of the industry. And they also gives them some extra pocket money, which possibly they may or may not need, but definitely more than the money, I think it is a huge exposure of going to the industry, working in the industry, coming back late, having a big day, a long day. All this helps a lot in making somebody's character complete, more especially from the hospitality industry and the food industry. So I think gig is a great concept. We'll catch up more as we go along, and I think it's something that we need in India now, under the circumstances that we are going now, even more relevant.
Thank you, sir. This is from Charuta Gajbia. In fact, she is a principal in Nagpur of a college. So where does people handling skills stand in entrepreneurship development?
Can you just repeat, Dominic? Sorry about it.
Where does people handling skills come in when it comes to entrepreneurship?
I think it comes because when you are teaching skill, I think that's what she's asking, because
not teaching entrepreneurship. So when you
they're teaching entrepreneurship, right?
No. No, so how much is people handling skills important as an entrepreneurship,
Oh, okay.
as an entrepreneur?
Well, let me say that the biggest P in any entrepreneur's life after passion is people, because it's all about people. It's all about people that are with you, in front of you, on the back of you, on left, on right, whether they are your associate, whether they are your employees, whether they are your clients, your customer. Everybody is important, and people skill is possibly the most important. I tell this to all our students, that it doesn't matter whether your knowledge level is little up and down. Even if it's down, it doesn't matter. But a people skill is actually makes all the difference. Given a chance, all colleges, all school in India should teach their kids the people skill, the social skill, and that exactly makes what a big difference. Today, my people skill are good. Good people will stay with me, even if I pay them less. If my customers in bad times, I can say I can't deliver, but they know that my people skills are good. They will not leave. They will still stay with me. You know, it's possibly the most important factor, in between success and failure, especially in tough times, which in a entrepreneur's life is more often than not, they're in the tough times. They're always firefighting. And when you are firefighting, you need people with you. So people skill, very important.
So great. So I'm going to, you spoke about firefighting, and there are two questions which I'm going to join. As someone as successful as you, my question is, why are you still working after building so much? And the next question that I want to combine with it is from Kaushal. I've literally seen IAM and IIHM growing. I'm sure even you must have had your ups and downs. What keeps you moving ahead? So besides the ups and downs, despite the ups and downs, what keeps you moving ahead, and why are you still working? So
Well, I think I have to take a retirement now. No, I think the DNA of any entrepreneur is that it just gets you going on and on and on. I think that's one of the profession, and that's the fun of it. That's the enjoyment of it. When we work, we never complain. If I have got an 18-hour day, I never come and say, oh my God, I worked today 18 hours. I never say. I say, what a great day. I worked for 18 hours today. I'm so happy that I have given so much of effort to do something. Whether it becomes successful or not is a different question altogether. But the very fact that you were working hard, you were giving your best shot, I think that brings a lot of energy from inside. I think the energy is very important for any entrepreneur to carry on and on and on. And to be honest, there is no end to it, because when I started the industry, hospitality was something very different. Education was very different. When people like Kaushal was kind of studying, it was a different kind of a talk and chalk culture. Today's kid don't believe in that. It's totally different on an app culture. It's a mobile phone culture. So the entire disruption happening, and you also grow with the disruption, you apply that knowledge and you try to do better than the rest of the world. I think in that mission of trying to be the better than the others is what keeps you going and going. Otherwise, you just become an ordinary person and you die as an ordinary mortal. But you need to always go before others. You need to run before others. If you're standing, then others will overtake you. So I think that kind of energy, that kind of thinking, I think is very important for any entrepreneur. Even if you have got a small shop selling sweets, or if you have got business like Tatas have, I mean, it doesn't make any kind of difference. If you see the Tatas, they're every day they're trying to better their products every day. If you see the Tata Digital, they are going here to here. And if you see even a small shop, they're trying to better their product. They're trying to make the innovation. I think that's very important. And that gets you going on and on. I think I'm not going to retire in the next 30 years.
So there was a question that how do you relax? And I would like to add to that my own thing. The work-life balance. I mean, there is a lot of talk about a person like you. You can make out that you're saying 18 hours and you're in fact happy about it. Could this be called the rat race? Is it getting to you? How do you relax? How do you balance out?
Well, it's a race. I don't know if it's a rat or tiger. It's definitely a race. You race against your biggest enemy, and your biggest enemy is time. Time is our biggest enemy because we all have got unlimited time.
Brilliant.
We just had 24 hours in a day. I wish we could have 48 hours a day. So whatever you need to do, your work, your family, your sleep, you need to adjust within that balance, within that 24 hours. So there is definitely a rest. If I say there is no rest, I'll be lying. But how you manage that rest is important, because we as entrepreneurs see ourselves as a marathon runner, not as a 100-meter, that you run a race of 100-meter and come back as number 2 or number 3. We are like a marathon. It has to go on and on. So we need to balance our life. We need to have a little bit of a life, work-life balance. I'm sure my wife is not saying this, but I'm sure that, otherwise, if I go home today, I'll have to do some work-life balance. But to be honest, and I've been fortunate that she works with me and we work together. So I've been very fortunate that way. So we don't have too much of issues. But the point is that, yes, there is definitely a rest, and this is rest against time, rest against innovation. Everything is overtaking you. Cut. So if you are standing and if you're not also going with that, then you are here and they all go past you.
They may run over you, in fact.
Absolutely. They will absolutely bulldoze you.
So now another question, and this is my own question. I'm not taking it.
Sure.
There are a lot of questions on the chat box, but you see, you've spoken about the old days, right? And you have a lot of people who say the old days were better. And there are people who say the technology has changed things and it's no fun anymore. But I don't see that attitude coming out of you. You seem to be enjoying this new tech world and the way things are. So what is your take on it? Why do you enjoy it? Don't you think the older ways were better?
See, we live in the present and we live in the future. We don't live in the past. So this is very simple. As an entrepreneur, you need to create value for your students, for your customer, for your clients, and for the society and the world. So obviously, if you take, I'm a big fan of Steve Jobs. The way he was, much ahead of his time. Now, when he came with even iPad or for that matter iPhone, and obviously he killed a couple of his products actually, because he felt that these products should not be there. I think we have to always have to be in the present and try to be on the future. And for every entrepreneur, I tell this, that you should not look only at present. You should look 5 years from now, 10 years from now, even 2 years from now. Even a small innovation, if you can do before your competitor even think about it, you are ahead of that. So there is nothing like old age. Age is a number. Age is number. You are 25 or I'm 55. That's the number. So long you can make a difference in the world, and that world, that difference is a positive difference, and create value, create employment. I think that is what we have been asked to do by God, and we should carry on doing that.
So that also answers the spiritual question that had come up earlier from Hitesh.
Yes.
Okay, so sir, do you have a mentor? This is a question that's come up. You mentioned a mentor. Who is your mentor?
Well, since I come from a very standalone kind of a background, you know what? When I started, it was all about me, because I almost almost came almost came against the family wish, and then took the things in my way. And that was a big advantage. I was actually not that fortunate to get a mentor when I was young, when I possibly needed it. But I must tell it to all the budding entrepreneur that everyone should have a mentor, because it's such a great thing to have a mentor, because you will save a lot of time, most importantly, and money. Like a lot of experimentation possibly will see more success than failure if you have got someone to hold hand and say, well, do this like this, do it like this, instead of experimenting 10 things and then coming to a solution. So although I didn't have a mentor per se, but I will tell all the youngsters who are on the show here and in the future that they must have a mentor who can actually guide them, mentor them, and also tell them no. It's very important, because a mentor is one person who can tell you no. The most important thing in life, a lot of people don't know how to say no, or they are very shy to say no, or they try to be diplomatic to say no. But a mentor can say no on your face, and that I think is very important. So mentorship is very important for the young entrepreneur. We do a lot of mentorship in Thai and other places that we work for.
Great. So another question for you: what advice would you give to today's generation who are just passing out of college and are apprehensive in joining the industry since the pandemic has affected the industry so badly?
I think they have to be patient. The important thing right now for the entire world is health. If we don't have the health, then entrepreneurship, business, jobs, hospitality, manufacturing, nothing will exist. We have to understand that. The world have to survive. As we say that if the world don't survive, then all these things which we are talking are of no relevance. So today, as we are going through and touch wood, going successfully as of now out of this pandemic slowly, you need to have that patience to get over this very difficult time. We cannot expect things that used to happen 2 years before to happen today. We are in, as we said, a new world order. I say new world disorder. We are in a new world disorder now, where everything is disordered. There's no order. So we need to also adjust our mindset. If today I'm a chef, like we met budding chef Hitesh Chawla, and I know that I don't have enough business today as an entrepreneur. It's not the end of my life. Heavens are not going to break on my head. I need to somehow manage by some delivery. Something can just get me going for the next possibly another 6 months. And I'm sure that I can then become back to business. Not maybe 2 years back level, but slowly to that level and more. We need to be very patient, need to add on skills. This is the best time maybe to learn a language, maybe to learn a hobby, like a piano or guitar, music, whatever your hobby is. Or if you are flying an aircraft, you can do an aircraft flying course, possibly virtually. Later on, you can do actually. Or you can pick up like a course on artificial intelligence or on digital marketing, which will be very useful in the future. If you see the Steve Jobs' life, while he dropped out of the college, he used to be very interested in calligraphy. And he used to drop into a calligraphy class, yes, which he was never enrolled. And that logo of Apple was the product of his calligraphy class, which is one of the marvel of that logo, that Apple logo. So he created an Apple logo from the skill he got in that calligraphy class, not in his tech class. So anything you learn, education will never betray you. There's one thing that will never betray you in your life is education. No one can take away your education. No one can take away your knowledge. No one can take away your passion. If you have got some knowledge, some education, then you have to make sure that you really have the belief, and no one can take it away. So not today, maybe tomorrow, that course which you can do today through the internet, which is such a great thing in the world, will help a lot. So the youngster should not feel desperate, although they have got reasons, generally speaking. They have to be patient, and things are getting better. In fact, even today, if I'm not wrong, one of the very big company in India had shortlisted 148 of my students. So things are getting, people are recruiting. It is not that bad now. People have to be patient. People have to really wait for this pandemic to get over. It's like a turbulence in a plane. It doesn't last more than 2 minutes or 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, you can see the blue sky again.
Okay, so you are seeing this as a turbulent time which will pass. And if students are patient, they will get through. So just some comments that have come up, which I would like to read out. Awesome explanation, excellent explanation. Thank you for explaining the importance of people skill. Wonderful insight, very true. Patience is the strongest weapon for the new world disorder. Siva Prasad says, wow, the only thing never betrays you is education. What an explanation. Uday says, absolutely, sir. Brilliant explained from Anshuman. Real motivation. Uday, again, good example. So we seem to be on the right track, sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so now we have one more question coming up. Is we have seen your stupendous journey of past 3 decades. How do you foresee or plan your journey for the next 2 or 3 decades? The question is 2 or 3 decades. Huh?
Yes, absolutely. I think so. You cannot foresee a vision per se, but you can also foresee that the things that can come, as I was saying, like tech is going to take over a lot in this world. Technology, basically, as we can see very clearly, will be the most important part of the human life for the next maybe 100 years. So I think I can see that, and I'm very, very keen to move into technology ecosystem, technology space. Already, as I was saying, that we are moving into a preschool, tech preschool space. We are trying to move into this technology-driven counseling test space. So I am definitely looking at very interesting things. Hospitality education will be the core and the top of my priority. And after that, I think I'll be trying to spend the next 2 decades of my life as an entrepreneur in technology space. That's what I like to envision today.
Okay, so reminding people, you can put your questions in the chat box. We've got a few minutes left, and if you would like, you could raise your hand and we'll unmute you and you could ask the question. Another one from Kaushal is, in spite of you being so busy, I see that some fun family times too. You have some fun family times too. Yes, we saw your photographs of your birthday celebration. You socialize. You are an active member of so many associations. You are so prompt on reverting to mails and messages. How do you manage all this so well? So time management question to balancing family, friends, associations.
Absolutely. I mean, you need to manage your time. And I think, of course, I'm not that prompt as a lot of my friends are, but I try to get, I get up pretty early in the morning. And I think that is one thing I also want to tell to everybody. I think nothing like getting early in the morning. And you have got some me time, as we say, a couple of hours, and I finish a lot of my emails, answering a lot of my happy birthday posts to all the friends and social media. And of course, I try to make most use of replying all the kinds, compliments, etc. So we have to balance life. As I said, life is not only about working, because you work with your mind mostly, but sometimes you also work with your hand, because when you are working on a mobile, it's always don't have to be, you can do multitasking actually. And today's kids are absolutely awesome in multitasking. Give them 10 jobs and they will do 10 jobs together. And I learned so much from my son and their friends. They can do 10 jobs together. As they say that, one of the reasons why people stopped wearing watches, people like you and me, Dominic, possibly still wear a watch, I don't know whether you wear a watch.
No, sir. I don't
You
wear a
watch.
watch.
Right. That's
only
excellent.
18 years old. I'm only 18 years
Absolutely, absolutely. But so one of the reasons why people have stopped wearing watch is that it's a single function device. It only shows you time. Of course, I tell them it also gives you a date. But today, people are looking for mobiles.
You have the mobile, which, yes, it will give you dates also.
It gives you everything.
I was joking. Yeah.
Exactly so. So the thing is that today it's all about doing so many things together. So I picked up this very fancy looking cheap watch actually. It's not an Apple watch, it's just a 4,000 rupees watch, but it gives me my fitness, it gives me my oximeter, my oxygen saturation, it gives me my blood pressure, it gives me my whatever, which I was not interested actually, but it's a multi. so you know,
it's like a doctor on your wrist.
It's like a doctor, and then you can relax. You can find out how many hours you have slept and how you have slept also. It gives you deep sleep, 3.5 hours, bad sleep, 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So it's quite interesting. Multitasking. I think every kid now is very good in multitasking. First of all, everybody have to be. Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Okay, we've got a question from Siva Arja. He says, Dr. Bose, how do you generate great ideas continuously?
Well, I don't know. Some ideas just comes and goes. Some idea bounce back. Some idea stays in the mind. Basically, I think you also need to be a little bit of a thinker. They used to say, Dominic, before, you need to think out of the box. And today they say there's no box. There is no box.
So in fact, I also say, don't get into the box. You're getting into the box and trying to think outside the box.
Exactly. So I say there is no boxes. The box don't exist. You just think. Look at the sky. Look at the sky. Look at the stars. Look at the moon. So you just think most illogical thing. You can think the most idiotic thing. You can think something that people say, oh, it can't happen. And you can say, why not? The great scientific thing that mankind have done was also one day was not believed. People said that it cannot happen. So things have happened, and it is happening, and it is happening in a very fast pace. So my answer to Shiva is that, I mean, you need to think a lot and possibly then filter your thinking to what you can do today, now, tomorrow morning, and start doing that without wasting any time. Because time is our biggest enemy.
Like they used to say, do it now or maximum tomorrow morning. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like your a word of advice that you will give entrepreneurs. Let's say an entrepreneur standing before you. He's got an idea that he would like to drive. We will presume he has got passion. What would the advice be to him? And let's say he has a choice between, going off with that idea or joining a job. What would you say to him?
Well, my advice would be very straightforward. If you have got an idea that you believe is going to work, that belief is important. That confidence is important. It should not be an itsy-bitsy kind of a thing. It has to be a very concrete idea. I have got an idea that I want to do this because this is required. You have to attack a problem. You have to attack a void area. There's no point in just doing Me Too, although Me Too works also. It's not that it doesn't work. But today, if there is a point where there is an idea and I can do that. Today, we do the hotel bookings. We do the hotel bookings, and there are people who are in tech who are making this a software, PMS system, booking.com, make my trip. And I always tell them that why don't you give me a choice of selecting my room? Just like I select my airline seat. When I book a flight, I book my seat on 1A. I pay $1,000 extra for that. So when I book a hotel and I want a possibly
particular room,
a particular room, maybe the pool side with the people on the swimming pool, I can see from my window. So why don't I get a poolside view, and I'm willing to pay a couple of thousand more for that? Why can't I book that room? And the hotel can earn more money by selling that to me when I'm booking it, rather than when I come and then they said, well, sir, you have been booked only for a standard room and all, we are sold out. So I think we need to understand the problem areas and need to attack. And if you have got that solution, I think you go for it. Don't go for a job.
Lovely. So your push seems to be pushing people towards entrepreneurship and doing what is inside you as a passion. So we got a message up there. Dr. Bose is a forever an epitome of humility, electric energy, and passion. He has helped millions around him to achieve their dreams and a true optimist. Dare to do, says his motto forever. This is from Sanchari Chowdhury. And so it's been great talking to you, Dr. Bose. Yeah, really great talking to you. Getting to know you so much better. I mean, I've spoken to you several times, but that's why I like the CoLaBoRate Talk Show, because I get to ask very incisive, probing questions, and I get to veil them behind, this is something that I had in mind, or this is something that somebody's asked. So it's
thank you, Dominic. Thank you. We had a lovely time together. Look forward to be working with CoLaBoRate, and I enjoyed as much as you did. And thanks all the people who are there in the Zoom.
Yes, and we've had a really large number of people on the Zoom call, and we'll be putting it up on the YouTube. We are also live on Facebook as we speak. So great talking to you. Thanks everybody for joining us on the CoLaBoRate Talk Show. Stay with us as we get more, constantly get more and more entrepreneurs, doers, achievers, and giggers to talk to you about the session. Thank you, Chetan. Chetan Dodwar is also a senior instructor in a catering college. He says, wonderful session. Thank you both. So thank you, audience. Thank you, Dr. Bose. And God bless. Keep rocking and roaring. Let's collaborate. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Namaskar from everyone from Calcutta.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye.